My cat is on top of the fridge staring at the candles that I have on the highest shelf, and I'm very concerned about that. It's also very concerning that my smoke alarm is right above that too. So hopefully we don't get showered on. That would be crazy good content though. I can't talk about that. I can't see, maybe because I talked about that, now I unjinxed myself from that happening, which honestly is for the best because I just got myself this fancy new microphone. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with these, so I went ahead and splurged. And I know that like if I give myself too much time to really think things over, like the new computer I've wanted for probably 2+ years, it just never happens. We were at a local shop and we were already there, already talking about it, already looking at the mic, and I'm like, okay, at this point we just have to go for it. So with that being said, go ahead and don't, ever forget, ever neglect me. Go ahead and click the like and subscribe so maybe one day I can get monetized and not worry about that. And also quit my job, which is something that we're talking about today. I'm not going to hold back on this countdown. You guys are going to love it. Episode 5 in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello. Welcome to the 5th installment of our mental health talks. My name is Sara and I am struggling. So let's talk about it. If you're coming from the 3rd episode, this makes sense. But if you're watching this in order that it's being released or that my episodes are in, I just filmed the end of the 3rd episode because my audio kept getting ruined. And on that episode, we were talking about how we can take things and move it from the worst case scenario to the best case scenario. So in your head, if you're already catastrophizing stuff and it's getting worse and worse and worse like it does, and it's like everything that could possibly go wrong in this idea in your head just like keeps going wrong, and it's like surprising you, like the things that you think of, and it's just all terrible, and you've got like tears in your eyes and you're overwhelmed and you're just thinking of all this and it feels so real. And then you realize that you're in your kitchen at like 11:30 at night and none of this is even happening. So in that episode, we went from a worst case scenario and asked ourselves, what is the best that could happen? What's the very best that could happen about this thing, this situation that I am dreading, that I really, really don't want to do? And with a prompt like that, I figured that was a good way to talk about this series and stuff that's going on, per usual, but also a little bit more meta talk. I do not have any qualifications. I do not have any certification to discuss mental health topics. I think that I've been pretty upfront with that because you know that I used to be a certified nursing assistant, was going to go to school for nursing, was finishing my nursing prereqs when I hurt my back, and then left that career track entirely. And now I'm an emergency medical aviation dispatcher. I've said before that I've had mental health psychiatric patients before, but I've never had them under my care, obviously in the role of like a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor or anything like that. That being said, I do have a very, very high interest in this topic, and I'm extremely invested in staying alive and of enjoying life as I do that. I really do love to talk to people about issues that they're facing, stuff that's going on. I don't get a chance to be nosy or to be too personal with most people because I'm just not that close with that many people. But the people that I have gotten close with, I really do love talking about issues, interpersonal issues, and just problem solving together. I am really interested in just making things better. And with that prompt that I gave on episode 3 about what's the best that could happen, I wanted to take a moment and just talk about my prompts and talk about like the purpose behind them, what they're meant to do and what they're not meant to do. I've noticed in myself when I can answer these prompts and think them out fully, get to expand on different positive aspects of my answer, I think that it really, really helps me reframe my thinking. I've really enjoyed also talking about bad things that are going on currently. I don't try to match the prompt with what's going on in my life. I just really, really like these prompts, and I'm kind of doing them in the order of my favorites right now. Whatever is happening on that current day in my mental health is kind of usually been like mostly irrelevant. It's kind of like a dual episode. You get to see a bit of my current mental health struggles, and then we are also at the same time, kind of taking a moment to like maybe even distract a little bit, just like think about something different, answer a question that's meant to like build confidence and to get us reflective in a positive way. And that's all that I intend it to be. I, under no circumstance, am ever trying to come across like, just think about it different and you'll feel better. I'm concerned, and I really, really, really strongly hope that I have not come across like this is going to fix everything for everybody. Because I even noticed in myself when I'm answering these prompts, it is a total boost. It's a great pick me up. It's been working wonders on my mood in the moment, but these prompts and probably mental health in general is continuous practice. It's not something that you're going to think about really, really hard for one question, for one prompt, and be set for the rest of your life. This is stuff that like requires consistent maintenance, requires you to continually think about, at least for me. And I don't want to sound like, hey, instead of having bad thoughts, have good ones. Like, duh. I'm not curing anybody. I don't know really, like, I don't want to say this in like too much of a self-deprecating, is that the word? Like kind of way, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't. I go to work as something completely different. I've taken like a sociology course in college. I've been interested in different psychology topics, but I don't have credentials in this. I don't, even though I haven't uploaded a single video yet. Like, this is already doing wonders for my mental health and for just being able to be reflective and to talk things out. And then especially to hear it back. Like when I'm editing things, like I'm not only focusing on like cutting out pauses, cutting out cutting out like breaks I've taken and stuff like that, but like I'm listening to myself and I'm hearing myself. And then to have that kind of mirror of like potentially negative thoughts that I'm having, or like when I've been unfairly critical of myself, and then being able to hear it back or just like be reflective and be like, hey, like that was really good that you took accountability for that. Or like, that was really amazing how you spun such a simple question into this like confidence building exercise. Like that was really, really good. Like I get so proud of myself doing this. I really do. And I just want people to know that like, that's where my heart is. That's what this is for. And I don't ever want to sound like it's going to be an easy fix, because it's not. I know it's not. I have dealt with this my whole life. It doesn't stop, but I'm hoping in this effort that we're going to find a way to make it a bit more manageable, a bit easier to live with. For updates on how things have been going lately with my mental health, I still can't talk about the friend issue. I'm still figuring things out with that, still trying to feel where I'm going to settle on that. I had a bit of a difficult conversation with my boyfriend Tanner last night. I know I said in the first episode that there's going to be some privacy for my relationship and discussing stuff like that, just because I don't think that he would be comfortable with me talking about that stuff. And I mean, that's still true, but given that the conversation last night was like heavily centered on my mental health, I feel like this is fair game. To be honest, I don't really know. This is so sad to say. I don't know where like relationships or friendships falling apart or naturally drifting apart, how much that's really affected by someone's mental health. Because I feel like there's a lot of talk on the internet, like people staying in relationships or people being able to manage relationships still and remain interested and in love and like totally, completely 100% committed to somebody while battling depression or while having bipolar disorder or something else going on. And I don't know if that's just because this bout that I'm going through of mental health issues is so sudden and I'm just not used to it. I just sometimes get relationship doubts too. And I don't know if that's because like nothing in my life is safe from my symptoms, my like occasional feelings of apathy, my like feeling defeated, my worry that things aren't going to turn out okay, if this is just part of that or if this is like actual about the relationship. Like I might feel this way regardless of if I was also struggling with my mental health. The stuff that he and I were talking about yesterday was a lot of me noticing that I'm not at all the same person who he initially was talking to nearly a year ago. In about 2 weeks, it's going to be our matchiversary, the first night when we met each other on Hinge and we were messaging. And like, I think of how I portrayed myself back then, how I presented myself, interests that I had, things that I was doing, like projects that I was working on, and also like how excited I was about my job because I was newish. And then I compare it to like what's been going on with me lately, and I'm like, oh, this is like a really, really strong word, but like, and I'm miserable. I remember that night now, maybe already a couple weeks ago, when I was having such serious plans of ending my own life, and how I came home and I had to ask for help and I asked him to keep me safe that night. I remember the following night trying to like explain a bit better about what was going on because I think that he felt very blindsided. I think that he told me that he didn't know that it was that bad. He said, I know that you say that you're sad, but I just didn't know it was like this. And that's when I was reflecting on it more, and I clarified to him that when I say I'm sad, like, I don't just mean in that moment, and I don't just mean like because of something that happened that day, because that's something I honestly don't really like being asked. If I say like, hey, I'm stressed, like, oh, I'm sad, I don't like being asked why, because I don't know. And it's like, it's such a constant stress. It's such a constant sad. It's not a reaction to something. It's something way deeper and way more, feeling way more permanent than that. I told him that it's every moment that I feel in some way a little negative about what's going on, even something as simple as showering, even something as simple and something that should be as enjoyable and as easy as a day off. Like, there's always something negative. There's always like a bit of stress on me. There's always a bit of sadness in me. And it's really hard to feel like anything is what it used to be, because I used to play video games. I used to like play Sims too all the time. And it was like so much fun. It was such like incredible stress relief. I used to write all the time. I used to be really, really passionate about that. And I like couldn't imagine my life without writing. Like I wouldn't want to. And it's so scary and so concerning when like I've sat down and opened up The Sims to play it and trying so hard to get into it, trying so hard to find like an iota of the serotonin or the dopamine or anything that I felt before, any of the enjoyment that I felt, and to feel nothing, to still feel stressed, to be like so disappointed, and to feel like this is not what it used to be. And then it makes me come to the conclusion like I'm not who I used to be. It's scary because like I know logically, like even when I say that, I know that's not true. Like I'm still Sara. I'm just struggling. Like I'm Sara. I'm funny, I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, but I'm struggling. And it's really difficult to remember that like I still have my whole life. I still have my whole history and my entire future ahead of me that is who I am. And it's not only the struggle. It's a balance of both. It really sucks that lately on everything that I've been doing, I just have this like extra weight on me. I don't have a quick answer for what I can do about it. I think a lot of that answer is also how I would explain depression to someone who asked. And I still don't know what my exact diagnosis is because I have to wait 3 months to see a psychiatrist. So I say depression, it could be something else, but those symptoms, like that's probably the best way that I could describe it. And even then it's like you just don't know until, you know, if you end up going through it yourself. Like it's really, really impossible to pin down. And that's the best I've got for today. On to something positive, on to the prompt. What does your ideal life look like in 5 to 10 years? I love this prompt because it's not something that you have to stress over not having your ideal life today or tomorrow or anything like that. But it shows the possibilities for the future. If your ideal life involves you somehow, you know, coming into a huge mass of money and just retiring, like I get it. I totally get it. For me, I'm going to answer this as if that's not going to happen, although that'd probably be my initial answer. I could see my ideal life in the next 5 to 10 years going 2 main directions or potentially a beautiful hybrid of them both. So the first one, regardless, is obviously not going to have me working at my current job. No, thank you. The only way that I could see myself still working there is if I needed income to be able to pay to go back to school. And going back to school, I would either like to major in psychology or creative writing. I think that would make a lot of sense for me continuing this series and this channel to have a bit more credentials and to just be better educated and be able to like explain stuff that's going on either with myself or with others, just to be able to talk about it a bit more confidently and to know what to do about it. And with that, after I would finish those bachelor's, then I would want to do a master's in counseling. Like I said already, like I'm already your free bootleg like street counselor, but it would be really, really cool if I could get some more letters after my name and hopefully be able to help patients in person. If I could return to like, you know, this client direct patient care setup, I think that would be just wonderful. The other thing I could see myself doing, if I really, really wanted to pour myself and all my resources into YouTube, would be continuing with YouTube full time. I think I mentioned this once before, but just to recap, I have my core 4 channel ideas. And these are different areas of my life that I'm really, really interested in. And I think that I could make some really great content for. The first one, obviously, we'll just go with Sara struggling. Mental health type talks, confidence boosting, more of a sit down as you're seeing kind of content. The second one would be a bit more polished, not so unfiltered. And that one is Sara is Strong, which would do health and wellness on the physical and like nutrition side of things. So I would post like really, really easy to follow recipes, really delicious at home stuff that's like healthy and perfect. And so yummy. And then I also have ideas for workout programs. I would start with plus size exercise and have it like a super, super beginner friendly program, stuff that like I even am doing currently to try to lose weight, and so that way people can like do it alongside me and then we can like have results together. Then I've got my Sara Has Style channel, which would be like thrifting hauls and shopping and getting makeup done and basically a get ready with me for my sit down style content. And then my final channel would be Sara Has Stories. And that one is the one that I like fantasize about recording like on a daily basis. That one would be my story time channel. And that is getting way further and a bit more specific on specific stories that I have from stuff that has happened in my past. And no, a lot of it is not good. A lot of it's like actually kind of awful, but I think I have a good spin on things. I think I have a good perspective. It's like, it's going to be like partially comedy, partially tragedy. But I'm so looking forward to it. Like that one's gonna be crazy. And I was thinking about this so much last night, like already preparing for this prompt today, because I knew I was gonna talk about this. And I even wrote myself like a schedule for what my ideal day of filming would look like in the future. And I only did one day, but it's just like an example day right here. It's got like waking up at 6:15, which I think I discussed in the question about when you feel your most confident. I would love to wake up earlier. So waking up at 6:15, doing my workout, which would go for the strong channel, getting dressed, doing a shower, shopping for either thrifting for clothes, books, buying new equipment, groceries. And then at 9, I would do my hair and makeup for my Get Ready With Me style channel. And then I would record my breakfast, making that for my strong channel, do computer work. So that could either be like sit down filming or just like stuff that I need to do at a computer, like thumbnails, working on titles, working on description, keywords, stuff like that. Potentially like curating posts for other social media like TikTok or YouTube Shorts, like editing, a lot of editing. At 1 p.m., I would record lunch. Then I would do more filming and computer work until 5, when I would record dinner, and then I would take a break, and then I would do tomorrow's prep and research and just basically get myself queued up for a seamless day the next day. This like really is a dream of mine. And then my final path that I could see it going, which is kind of a path going down the middle of the two previous ones, and that is if I could be able to quit my job to pursue YouTube and also go back to school. That would be really, 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 like, God, that would just be such a dream. That would be really cool. I would love to do that. If I ever, like, I swear to God, if I, like, am ever looking back on this and I've made it and I'm actually doing that, like, I just wish I could give me a sign that, like, it's actually going to happen and that I need to just go for it at this point. Like, I'm on episode 5. I'm trying to finish 25 episodes before I do a launch. I just need a sign. I just need a sign to go for it. I'm begging for a sign. I'm not to sound negative, not to put like any doubt on myself, but really if it doesn't work out, I still am getting so much benefit out of just filming these, like, as I'm filming them and as I'm editing them. It gives me something to throw myself into, like a huge project to work on, and it's really, really keeping me going. Of course, in my head, you'd rather have 1,000 subscribers than 100, like duh. On that note, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I am itching to get out of this job. I would love for my dreams to come true, but at the same time, like, I know it's on me. I know it's going to be, depending on like how hard I'm working and also the luck I encounter, especially with something as uncertain as YouTube and social media. But God, like I really do. I mean, I've been on YouTube watching it so long. Like, I really do think I could pull this off. I really do think I could make it. Now it is your turn. Please leave me a comment. What does your ideal best life in 5 to 10 years look like? What are you doing? Or if you want to answer with something that's not career related like I did, if you've got like family goals and aspirations, I think that would be super cute. Just let me know what's going on in your head. And don't forget to check out my other videos.